Hello everybody and welcome to today's Sunday Q&A, which today is brought to you from Northampton outside the Wicks Distribution Centre, where I've got 3 pallets to deliver. And I've got, they said, you know, when I booked the job, well, fair enough, like, deliver between 2:30 and 3:30. I've gone, okay, lovely. You get there, booking time of 3. You didn't say that on the job, did you? You said 2:30 to 3:30. But I'm already thinking 2:30 to 3:30. Well, 2:30, I could probably get in there about an hour early. So I've rocked up at 1:30. Of course, the guy said shift change at 2, but you can come back at 2:10. I went, oh, that's all right. And it really, I suppose it's 20 minutes early. I've only got to get 3 pallets off. Then I've got to get over to St Neots to fetch one for Silverstone, going to McLaren on Monday morning. So maybe I'm picking up a race car. Never going to happen. Yeah, so I've got the black bins on because they match rather. The black bins come out, the Michael Caine's, as opposed to the usual Harry Potter's, as my boss said, as my old boss Dan said. He says, I've got to wear glasses now, so I'm not getting a pair like yours. They're ridiculous. And I said, I know they're ridiculous, but they're just there. Oh, I don't care because I can't see them, but at the moment I can because they're there. Look, there. That's what happens when you make videos. You see yourself. That's why I play my hair all the time. That's why I cut it short. Nobody cares. No one cares about my delivery. No one cares about my haircut. But I'm wearing the black ones because they match the new merch, which was this week's video, which is the Insurance Revolution t-shirts, which I will be giving away. I actually had some takers. So anybody, maybe not the people I thought, just people going, yeah, I wouldn't mind a t-shirt, Pete. Bear with me a week or so. I'm going to give it another week, bit of leeway, and then what I'm going to do, I'll post them all out in one go. So if it's not here this week, don't go, where's my t-shirt? It's coming. It'll be there. Time for Christmas. You can sport it down the pub on Christmas Eve. It's got the Pete the Courier Driver logo, which we're pleased with, and it's got Insurance Revolution, and it's got the phone number there in case you want to ring up. I'm going to try and read that backwards. 0330 808 10. Is that 32? 1033. There you go. Cool, fantastic. And also, alternatively, there'll be links down below. And if you type in Pete the Trucker, that will take you to my website. There are links on the website. It's good this because my website is actually in my name. And I said my mate Nigel's my oldest friend from school, who also does all my websites and stuff like that. And I went, should I not try and get like Pete the Trucker as like a domain name? Who's that guy? Do you remember his comment? Domain name guy. If you're out there, hope you're doing well. Little comment, they know you're still around, you know. And he went, no, it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. So I assume that when I type Pete the Trucker in my phone, it takes me to my website, but that's because it's my phone. And my phone, your phones are programmed to throw the stuff at you. If it works out the news that you read is very right wing, you'll get right wing stuff. If it's very left wing, you'll get left wing stuff. If you watch Love Island a lot, you'll get Love Island stuff, you know, that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, because it's my phone, it's going to show me, but no, apparently not. So let me know. Type in Pete the Trucker. Let's see what comes up. Well, okay, let's get on with it. Enough waffle. Last week's fuel prices. I had again next week's fuel prices will go in the comments down below. It took me a little while to get Motia's on there because they didn't actually, due to some error with their computer system, they didn't ping it across until Monday. But last week's fuel prices for me: Watson's 113.13, Express Fuels 1.3.16. The boys at Express Fuels have really pulled their finger out. I'm really pleased about this because they're a small operation. They're not like the big time Charlies, and they're trying to be good to people. So I don't get anything out of them. But if you fancy an Express Fuels card, maybe mention my name just so they know I'm supporting them. So I like them. They're nice guys. Motia, 113.39. So we're all around it. UK Fuels, 120.39. That's 7 pence a litre dearer. Guys, what are you playing at this week? That's a horror show. And White Van Man, who's always my go-to guy when it comes down to this. Do appreciate you doing this every week, mate, by the way. If you want a t-shirt, just send an email to it's Pete the HXtrucker. Mind you, bearing in mind that this is the t-shirt. Oh, hey, I'll make this look good. No, I don't. Yeah, all the links are down below. Don't know why is he tooting? Why are they tooting? I'm just parked. Watson's, here's Watson's UK. This is another one that gets me. Watson's 112.45. So why Watson's? They told me that they give the same price to everybody, but they're giving you a cheaper price. So that's not true, is it? Sylvie Key Fuels 111.52 and Drive Card UK Fuels 111.7. So he's still doing better than me. I got around the 113 mark. I don't know next week's. I will put the link. I will put. Well, as soon as I know them, the emails come in, I'll put them underneath. Have a look, compare what you're getting. Make sure you're getting yourself a decent price. Last week's mistakes. Dale Steele said, hello, yes, I don't sell fuel cards. Yeah, it used to be Dale Turner did the fuel cards. They're the guys that are now Express Fuels. And a T-shirt's on its way to you as soon as I get round to it. Cool. So this week's video was the great T-shirt giveaway. They gave me the mob gave me T-shirts. This is a double XL. I'm a 50 chest. I'm a 42 waist and a 50 chest. Big. But there's larges as well. That's more like, I guess, a 42 chest. So let me know if you want one, which one you want. Like they are, so they are free. Just free to start with anyway, and then what I might do is give away for question of the week, just as a nice thing to do. But yeah, if you give me your name and address, and the email address is petethehxtrucker@gmail.com. Like I say, the link's down below. Just give me your name and your address, and as soon as I'll do a batch post and I'll stick them on out. Shane Hardy says, everybody loves a freebie. They look pretty smart. Oh, suits you, sir. Yeah, I particularly like the Fast Show reference. I saw Charlie Higson once. We was at Legoland with a kid, and he was over there. And you do that thing, and you go, "That's Charlie Higson. Oh, I love him. He's great. What do I do?" And you think, should I go up and say, "Oh, I love you. You're great"? But he's out. He's at Legoland with his kids, you know. So I just kind of looked at him. He looked across, and he just nodded and smiled a bit, and I went, I thought, that's enough. Leave the man alone. He's allowed to have a day on his own, you know, this sort of thing. You actually come across to me, you said, "Oh, you Pete? Hey, Pete, you're the guy that YouTube channel." I said, "Yeah, get off, Charlie, I'm too busy." That didn't happen. Dale still also says on the T-shirts, he says, "Wow, high vis as well." Yeah, I'll get one off, Dale. You can have that one as well, mate. So that's it. There's not a lot to say about T-shirts. This week's video was on T-shirts. It's kind of a short video. I mean, we'll go back to the normal ones next week about kind of, I don't know what next week's is. Handball. I had to do a load of handball for free. That's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, so, but yeah, that's about it. So really, we're just on the normal stuff. So, well, question for the wise guys. Darren Hill says, he said, "I just got pulled for driving without," it says DCAA, which is due care and attention. "I don't feel I did anything." He said, "I've never had points, have an HGV. Is there any way of not getting endorsed?" Now, I had a quick look on a Google, and I know that sometimes you can get courses. You can get speed awareness courses for doing 35 in a 30 in a residential. You can also get, if you get done doing sort of 50 when you should be doing 40 on a motorway because you've gone past the gantry sign, you can, and then you can get a course for the motorway one, you can get a course for the residential one. It's not just speeding, there are two separate courses. But it says, I think you might be able to get one on the DC. It depends what you did. So if it's something super scary, you know, like driving through a shopping centre, sort of randomly trying to knock over pedestrians, chances are you won't get the course. But if what was really happening was you were driving down the road, you didn't quite clock something, and the policeman said you should have clocked that, you could get the course. So you will either get the penalty points and the £100 fine, or you'll get the course. Now, the course is going to be round about 100 quid, and you're probably going to give up half a day of your life to do the course, but you don't get the penalty points. You do the course, no points. So that's maybe it. I put this under wise guys, because as usual, as we know, everything on the channel is wrong, or at least largely erroneous. So if anyone knows any better, if you can put that in the comments, and we'll put Darren Hill straight next week. Which brings us to a miscellaneous. Shane Hardy. Now, this is to do with the fact that it looks like I've had an email from the CX, and they're saying that from the 1st of January, they'll only work with factoring companies that are related to the CX. So if it's one of their bona fide ones, they'll do it. And I think it's because they're trying to get to a system where they would either, no one likes factoring companies anyway, they're a necessary evil. Some are better than others. Mine is fine, but mine's going anyway, which is kind of handy because the CX is saying you don't want them anymore. Also, the CX does do a thing where they might factor their own jobs on their own platform. So maybe they're angling towards that. I don't know. I've nothing to do with the CX. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't talk to them. Occasionally, from time to time, someone might contact me, but not really. So I'm not sure what's going on with that one. My question is like, what? I mean, I had a couple of... What if you've just signed up? You just joined the CX, you paid your membership for the year because you've just got the factoring company for a year, and then a month later they say, oh, by the way, in a month's time, we're not taking factoring companies. Well, hang on a second. In October, I've signed on the dotted line. I'm stuck with this for a year, and you're now telling me now that I've got a month to get rid of them. I can't do that. And with mine, I only factor some invoices. I only factor about 15 different firms. The rest of it, I just showed myself. So how does that stand? Because they're saying that if you factor, you won't get load notifications from these people, and it's kind of complicated. If anyone at the CX is watching this and they want to fill me in, you fill me in, I'll fill in everybody else. But at the moment, this is kind of all over the shop, so I don't really know what's going on. Shane Hardy says, he said, are the CX trying to squash factoring companies by making themselves an in-house factoring company? Sounds like they're trying to be everything to everyone within the courier company. He'll be watching down on us. And he says, and he says, he'll be watching down on us. I'm mishearing your name, Steve. Yeah, because we had the thing that we held Steve, the nefarious Steve Campbell. I think it might be Steve Campbell's girlfriend or wife or whatever. Yeah. I think there's someone from his channel still commenting. Yes, Steve is sorely missed. Absolutely. Godzilla says, he actually says on it, he said it would be a great thing. Someone who messes about with a payment would be exposed to the CX by their own actions rather than reliant on a complaint that the CX wants to ignore. And he also said about Steve, he says, as for Steve, it was a shock when he turns out that Godzilla's lived 3 streets away from Steve. He said, I intended to get him down the pub. But he said, sadly, after I found out he moved away, so it wasn't, by the time we worked out where he lived, he didn't live there no more. So yeah, just one of those sad things. He also goes on to say, now we did this video, we did thing on last week about how to avoid getting a factoring company. And one of the guys said, well, the only way you can do it is you work for CX during the day and then work Deliveroo at night. And I went, yeah, but then you're driving all the time, and then what happens when you get tired? And, so word of caution. Godzilla says, in response to the guy who said do factoring in the day and deliver pizza at night. In the next village was a guy who was self-employed accountant, run his own business which was failing. So as he had a licence, he decided to drive a truck for a company at night to keep the wolf from the door. He fell asleep at the wheel and someone died. The police could see what he was doing, knew that he was working days and night. He got 3 years. So it is that thing. You've got to be responsible as a driver. You can't just go, I'm just going to drive all the time. Which in a van, technically, you can. Well, you can't, but you're not on a tacho. There's no card or anything to say you're doing it. But if you decide to drive day, night, my old transport manager, I like this phrase, I use it a lot. I had old Daniel Garumba, superhero transport manager, said he's got a phrase, which is, everything is all right until it isn't. Which is, everything's fine, it's fine and fine, bang! Oh dear. And that's when it comes on top. But if you're compliant and you play the game, when something goes bang, you're like, well, I've done everything right. I checked it. It's strapped. I'm on my time. I've had my relevant breaks. It was an accident. And they go, yeah, you have. You've done everything you could do. You can walk away, hopefully. Right. And also, there's another one of the factoring companies. Cowboy Dan says, he says, are they trying to monopolise on payments by banning factoring companies? Not sure that's even legal, but I have no law degree, so it could be. Just maybe a bit of moral. Instead of them taking a huge slice with their own factoring, they're offering a flat-out 3%, for example, to allow payments to be factored. They wouldn't need to ban factoring companies because everybody would go with them. For example, allow all payments to be factored. Yeah, they wouldn't need it. Yeah, so I'm just rereading that bit again. I'm good at reading. He said, if you paid a CX membership that already included a factoring company, I can't see how you would block them. He said, they were built to connect to shippers and drivers, and now they're getting greedy. On the other hand, I think it would look unprofessional to wear a cowboy hat when doing deliveries. It's great when it's raining. So Cowboy Dan might actually wear a cowboy hat. Yeah, don't do it. If you want a hat, I'm going to go for the Sean Pertwee dog soldier's hat. There you go. Bit warm now. I have got a cowboy hat. I got a Peter Worth one when I was in Peter Worth. Yeah, it's this guy when I was in California, when I went to see Lisa's cousin 20 years ago. That's a great hat. It's sort of wicker. And it looks good. And even I look good in it, so it must be a good hat. Magic hat by the sounds of things. But it's a bit worn out. So, but yeah, so that's kind of where we are today. Like I say, a bit of an odd one. I have a question which I've got to remember. I might do a video about it, which is, there's this thing recently. If you get like here, get to the booking early, I heard it at a tool station, and a guy went in 2 hours early, and then got fined for being early. Now I can understand if you're 2 hours late, but if you rock up 2 hours early, surely it's down to the person on the gate to go, you're early. Like this guy, you can't come in yet. Go away, come back at 2:10. Lovely. But if you're early and they let you in and then they fine you, how do we stand? Let's have some comments on that. And in the meantime, I'm going to call that a day. I've got another. Oh, look at that! 15 minutes. I can lose 15 minutes quite easily. Get this one off on a St. Neots, ready for Monday. Ready to take care and take money.